You know, when you hear the word philosophy, what comes to mind? Probably ancient thinkers in robes, right? But what if I told you it's actually one of the most powerful toolkits a modern leader can have? Today, we're going to explore how philosophy has been this secret compass for great leaders all throughout history, guiding the big decisions that literally shaped our world. So let's just start with a huge question. What makes a leader truly great? I mean, is it their charisma, strategic genius, maybe a long string of wins? Sure, those are all part of the picture, but they're really just the surface. The real foundation of great leadership, well, that lies much, much deeper. Because at the end of the day, it's not just what great leaders do, it's why they do it. This is the absolute core idea we're digging into today. Philosophy is what gives them that crucial why, the underlying principles, the ethics, and the worldview that drive a leader's every single move. It's the difference between just managing and truly leading. To really get this, let's unpack a fascinating concept, homo litericus. The idea here is that leadership isn't some modern business buzzword, no. It's woven right into the fabric of the human journey. From the very first tribal chieftains to today's tech visionaries, we are a species that leads. And that leadership has always been shaped by the guiding philosophies of the time. So let's see this in action. For our first case, we're heading way back to ancient China. Leaders there face this monumental challenge. How do you create social harmony and govern effectively when there's constant conflict and upheaval? The answer they found wasn't in force, but in virtue. The Confucian toolkit for leadership is built on three really powerful pillars. First up is Ren, which is all about benevolence, the idea that a leader has to genuinely care for their people's well-being. Then you've got Yi, or righteousness. This means acting with integrity, choosing what's morally right over what's just easy. Like turning down a profitable but shady deal. And finally, there's Li, which is about respecting traditions to create harmony. These aren't just abstract ideas. They form a super practical framework for earning trust and leading well. And this quote from the Analects just hits the nail on the head. For Confucius, real authority doesn't come from a title or the threat of force. Nope, it flows from the respect people have for a leader's moral character. When you lead by example, people follow not because they have to, but because they want to. Okay, so we've seen how philosophy gives you a compass for governing people. But what about leading them into the complete unknown? What kind of philosophy does it take to lead the charge of discovery and push the very boundaries of human knowledge? Well, that requires a whole different kind of compass. Let's jump to our second case study. We're heading to the Islamic Golden Age to look at Ibn Sina, a true polymath who wasn't just a philosopher, but one of history's greatest physicians. His challenge was different. How do we even begin to understand the natural world, and what does it truly mean to be healthy? We tend to think of the scientific method as this one single, rigid road, but Ibn Sina's approach to knowledge was so much more holistic. He argued that a true leader of discovery can't just rely on one path to the truth. They have to embrace multiple methods, combining careful observation with logical deduction and, get this, even making space for intellectual intuition. And he took this holistic thinking and applied it directly to medicine. For Ibn Sina, health wasn't just, not being sick. It was a state of total equilibrium. First, you have to acknowledge the whole person, body, soul, and spirit. Second, you've got to find internal balance across all those dimensions. And third, you have to harmonize with your external world, your environment, your food, your lifestyle. It's all connected. A leader in health has to understand that. Okay, so ancient China, the Islamic Golden Age. This is all fascinating, but how does any of this apply to us right now? Well, these philosophical toolkits are arguably more important than ever, as we face one of the biggest leadership challenges in human history, integrating artificial intelligence into our work and our lives. This new model of leadership is being called the Centaurus team. And no, it's not about humans versus machines. It's a hybrid partnership where human creativity works in this tight, fast loop with AI's processing power. The human provides the direction, the AI generates options, and then the human refines the result. It's this incredible synergy. And the advantages here are pretty obvious. You get the unbelievable speed and the vast knowledge base of AI, which means way more efficiency and fewer factual mistakes. But more than that, it can become a real creative partner, sparking new ideas and ensuring consistency in a way that just supercharges our own abilities as leaders and creators. But, and this is a huge but, this is where the leader's philosophical compass becomes non-negotiable. An AI can hallucinate, making up stuff that sounds plausible but is totally false. It has zero human nuance, it can't feel emotional depth, or use that intuition Ibn Sina valued so much. This is where we have to lead. We need that Confucian righteousness to question the AI's output, and that holistic worldview to see the bigger picture it might miss. The human leader provides the judgment, the ethics, and the wisdom. Period. So you see, it doesn't matter if the challenge is building a society, expanding knowledge, or partnering with AI. The tools might change, but the need for that philosophical compass, that remains constant. The core principles of leadership really are a timeless toolkit.
I love this image because it just captures the whole idea perfectly. The wisdom from thinkers like Confucius and Ibn Sina doesn't give us outdated answers. What it gives us is a timeless structure, a framework for ethical reasoning, for holistic thinking, and for purposeful action that we can apply to any challenge, no matter how modern it seems.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. We've seen how philosophy equipped leaders in the past and how essential it is for the future. So the real question isn't just about them, it's about you. What are the core principles, the benevolence, the integrity, the holistic view that guide your decisions? What's in your philosophical toolkit?